Test, test. All right, cool. We in. This is just, I just wanted to show everybody my build for Pillar of the Cage Gods stat stacking. I don't, I don't really believe that this is like a super expensive build, and by expensive I mean like over 20 divine, right? If it's over 20 divine, I think that it's quite expensive. But this is the original helmet that I was using. I found this. This is the original armor I was using. I didn't find this, but I basically traded up for it. So at the time, this was like 9 divines. Right now, there's nothing really like it on the market. I actually don't even know if you guys can see that. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Display capture, game capture. There we go. There's not really anything like it on the market. If I tweak this a little bit, it'll probably show that this was like probably sitting at about 10 divines for me to get it right. The main thing about the Pillar of the Cage God build, in my opinion, I haven't really watched too much on other people's videos, but I have been seeing a lot of thumbnails on it, is that you're going to need a Pillar of the Cage God, the staff. This enables the build, and then this is what gives the build all the damage. Hand of Wisdom in action. I got these at the time for 7 divine. I don't know what they're going for now. Yeah, so they're sitting about the same, assuming that these first 5 right here, 6, aren't actually fake trades, and they're kind of sitting at like less than an hour. So these all might be fake. Yeah, who knows? Um, my gear, I've been slowly min maxing it. This I just recently got this for 14 divines at the time. Now it's sitting at around the same. So the price on Ingenuity is kind of hovering. Um, my gear right now, I'm slowly starting to min max towards rarity because I've been noticing that my drops are just kind of lackluster. So I'm sacrificing a lot of damage in order to have that magic find. So these are the boots that I've been using since I basically started the build. The belt that I was using, I think I already traded it away, but it was like a dual res strength belt. It was basically like this with more fire and lightning res. Not very expensive. If we go here, so yeah, sitting at like about 10 exalt. Quick tip: if you see it's worth a divine, scroll down a little bit until you see that it's 2 divine, or until you see exalts. Divines inside the shop, or not the shop, the website, they represent anywhere from like 5 to 9 exalts. So it's not always true. So make sure you scroll down before you decide on your pricing. But these rings, I think I just recently got these, but I was using prismatic rings. I think I already traded them away. Yeah, I already traded my prismatic rings away. The prismatic rings that I had were literally just all attributes and intelligence. Um, I got them for a steal before this build really blew up, and so it was like 10 exalt or something at the time. I'm not really too sure how much this is gonna be now, so let's just go like entry level for like something like this. See, it's very inexpensive to get a ring with all attributes, 10 all attributes and 20 intelligence, and that's like very entry level uh, gear. You can do the same thing with the necklace. So in all, I also found my first pillow of the cage god. I didn't actually have to pay for it. Apologize for my rambling. I'm trying to do this all in one take. I'm not trying to edit a video. I'm just gonna upload it raw. Uh, the most expensive thing that you're gonna pay for off the rip is gonna be the Hand of Wisdom in action, and this is gonna allow you to get beyond like tier 5 maps, assuming that you're only like level 80 to 85, and still trying to run Pillar of the Cage God. Once you get this, you'll be able to clear content and farm so that you can get all of this. Again, this is like, this right here is probably going to be what you're going to get next. This is relatively inexpensive for something that's like, say, like a 10. Let's just go like triple tens. Yeah, they're relatively inexpensive. You're looking at like 5 exalt. So to get the build started, it's really not that expensive. You do not need an Astramentis. If you're gonna push endgame content, I would advise to probably save up for that. Yeah, I did say save up. It's really not that hard to trade your way up. If whoever's watching this wants me to, I can upload a video on how to trade. I've made probably in and out upwards of like about 150 divine. This isn't the only kit that I've built. I've built a Magic Find kit for my friend so that he's running Magic Find while I'm killing shit, so that we're getting the multiplayer aspect of it to get the increased Magic Find and for the increased difficulty. You know, that little trade off there. Um, so like in and out, probably anywhere from like 150 some odd divine. I can't really, if I really sit down and think about it, I can probably ballpark it better. Um, and I'll just show you real quick. This build isn't the best build out there. It's not min max at all. It's really just something that I just threw together. And I'll show you my skill tree after, assuming I don't die here, because that would be pretty embarrassing. So all I'm doing is I'm just using the storm wave to clear. I have a lot of attack speed, so I could be using the Tempest Flurry or whatever it's called, the basically the spin to win shit. But I just tend not to because of how squishy I am. If I get stun locked, then it's just GG. So I try to clear everything from afar like this. But yeah, this isn't a super end game Pillar of the Cage God build. This is a very bare bones build in comparison, I should say, again, in comparison to other builds. And again, to reiterate, I didn't start my build out like this. I had to work up towards it, and it's not hard to snowball on this. And you can see I'm just clearing screen. Another thing that I don't know if people know about, it's probably technically bug abuse. Um, what you can do to make this build even safer while you're running this, what's this called, Stormwave, is you can, if I use WASD to move. I don't know what it'd be like on a controller if it would even work, but let's just say there's monsters right here. So kind of like that. Let's just say there's monsters right here, and you're trying to hit them from right here. This wall's in the way. If you W key into it, you can now swing through the wall. I've noticed it kind of reduces your damage a little bit, but it's very, very safe. So if we go like something right here, because that rare, I can hit him through the wall, and he would have to actually come around to get to me generally, or at least get into line of sight. Or he'd even try to chase me down. This makes it really easy to clear certain maps. Um, or if you're doing a breach and things are spawning out of your line of sight, you can just hug a wall and just start swinging. Um, that's just something that I kind of figured out about Stormwave. I don't know if other skills interact like that. I've only played on the Witch and this class mainly for like endgame. So I'll just show you my skill tree real quick, just to keep this from being a long-winded explanation. These are the skills that I'm using. Um, Stormwave, Upheaval, Long Shot, in case, if I want to do like off-screen clearing, it really helps with when I'm doing that wall banging, as I call it. Lightning Infusion, Martial Tempo, Primal Armament. I use Herald of Thunder. For bosses, I'll turn on Cast on Shock, and I'll use Eye of Winter, Impetus, Inspiration, Energy Retention, Herald of Thunder, Magnified Effect, Elemental Focus. I had something else in here, and then I lost it because I was like theory crafting a lot, and I forget what I put in here, so I'm gonna have to actually sit down and do that. I have Wind Dancer on for a little bit more survivability, even though my evasion isn't very high. It's something. Sometimes it keeps me alive. With Maim, Clarity, Blind, and a Cholula. Uh, for conductivity and volcanic mark. I use this if I want to really speed clear. I'll just teleport to things and then just just teleport throughout the whole entire map. Siphoning Strike and Charge Staff, I use these for bosses. Lately, I haven't been because I've been getting lazy, so these are literally just here for show. I generally don't even use them, even though it would help. Lightning Exposure, Perpetual Charge, and Persistence on Charge Staff. Tempest Spell, I drop this on bosses. Overabundance, Concentrated Effect, and Rage Forge. And then Tempest Flurry, which you can use to get around the map even faster. I tested this. This is about, I don't know, I'd say like 10 to 15% faster move speed if you have the right attack speed. Behead, Ice Bite, Overcharge, and Crescendo. I wouldn't use this to get around the map if you don't have at least 9 attacks per second. Even 9 attacks per second is kind of like low. I would prefer to have 10 because then you can really see a difference. And then my passive tree is this. Uh, I go straight up for enhanced effectiveness, increase the inherent bonuses from your stats, and then advanced thaumaturgy. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this just reduces the cost of everything else. So Stormwave is normally going to be at about like 110ish, I think, mana cost. At level 19, it drops it down significantly, so I don't die. I'm pretty sure the skill tree looks the same as pretty much everybody else's that runs Pillar of the Cage God. There's nothing really special about it. I try to get as many attack speed nodes as possible, and I am sitting at level 93 right now, so you can, user mileage may vary. But I try to go attack speed if I can, and then anything else that's extra, I'll put into lightning. I have been switching these out while I've been trying to find a better way to survive without that unique mana flask for chaos inoculation. But that's just the tree right there. I don't know if anybody really uses this, but this definitely helps me not die. Gives me ailment threshold per dexterity. I don't even know where to find your like it's just blank. I don't know if that's intended. I would like to see the numbers on it, but yeah, this is the build. You don't need Astramentis to make this work. What you need is a Pillar of the Cage God and a Hand of Wisdom in action. That's the bare minimum of what you need, and then everything else will follow through farming. On your rings, you don't need to have a 2040 all ats intel or all ats dexterity ring. You just need to have survivability on it, 10 all ats, 20 of whatever stat you select, whether you're strength, dexterity, or intelligence stacking. Same with the amulet. All of this is just gear that I've been slowly upgrading. You don't need an ingenuity. You don't need it. You can use a dual or tri-res belt. I don't even know if there's a tri-res belt, but I would advise a dual res with some sort of stat on it, whatever stat you're stacking, even though it can't be intelligence, of course. And then on your staff, I was seeing if Mono Leech really worked with this build, and it doesn't. Um, but I got the staff for like 4 Exalt, I think, because they forgot to upgrade the quality on it. It's a very cheap cheap build in comparison to a lot of other builds, or at least in comparison to what people are leading you to believe. Um, yeah, in about 1 or 2 days, I was able to farm up enough to trade to not use this anymore and to use this. And so far, I think I got it for 10 div. Let me see here, 4, 8, so 16 div there. So I got this for about 10, 12 div. I can't remember what I paid for it, but I remember that these goddamn soul cores were like 4 divine each. But it is possible to make a pretty budget entry level gear set. And just to reiterate, for the last time, all you need is Pillar of the Cage God, Hand of Wisdom in action, and you're ready to roll. Looking at about 8 to 10 divine, basically, just to get started. This isn't very necessary. Black Sun Crest, because you take it off, you barely lose any damage. All right. So if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it. Good luck, guys.